Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's a social production. That's right. We're doing it on December the 19th. It's Friday, 2025, baby. Oh, it's almost here. Choo, choo. Hooty hoo. Oh, the Santa Claus motherfucker coming to town, baby. It's almost that time of year. All of it. Hope you're doing well wherever you are, tuning in and around the world, whether it's Toronto to down south, to over there, further to the west. Let's not skip all the way over there to Vancouver, in the middle, Saskatchewan, over there, Regina, over there, Alberta, uptown, Northwest Territories. Friggin' cold out there. Down, it's a little side note. I did watch a little video of this little town in Siberia. It's like the coldest town in the world. Minus 40, 50 degrees. I think we can compete with that. If you go to Northwest Territories, Yukon, I think pretty sure we got that down as well. Just a little bit. I'm like, yo, if we're about to fucking measure, cock by temperature, I think we got that shit down here. So it's nice. It's nice though, just to know there are other cold places in and around the world. That's neither here or there. It's just came across my radar, and I'm just like, doesn't matter. The point is that I don't even know why I brought that up, ladies and gentlemen, but that's aside the point. Further down south, in the U.S., all beautiful states, 50 of them. Further down south, Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia's. Over there in Senegal, over there in Cairo, Egypt, in the Bermuda Triangle. We'll get to that as well. Bermuda. Over there in Thailand, over there in India, over there in Uzbekistan, Finland, the Finnish people, the Swedish people, all around the world. Get a sip of this shit right here. Thank you for joining me once again. Let's get right into it. Motherfuckers think it can get cold outside. It's cold up in this bitch. It's been nice and warm for the past few days, but nonetheless, you think you can get colder than us? Motherfuckers trying to take our cold. Oh, show them how it's done, Northwest Territories. It's so cold up there. If you go into the Northwest Territories, you'll die. That's how cold it is. You won't be able to have a town. You'll have a town, but if you stand out there, if you piss, it'll just freeze. Even if you're indoors, even if you're insulated, even if you want to drink a cup of hot tea? Well, you can't because it's frozen. It's iced tea now. That's how cold it is. If you have sex and it gets really wet, you'll stick together, and you have to wait till like spring and summer and like thaw out. And that's a really short time period. That's how cold we get. Nobody tries to take our place as the coldest place on earth. When your wife gives birth in the Northwest Territories, her placenta rips her vagina because it's like it freezes as soon as it comes out. And that's a disturbing scene. So to fucking deal with that shit. Siberian cold weather. Think you're better than us? You can't get diarrhea in the Yukons because it's all solid. As soon as it comes out of your body, it freezes. That's how cold that shit is. Men's, as soon as they jizz, it's all solid. That's how cold we get. Yeah. Try surviving up there. Thought you had, we're so cold. We're in Siberian region of Russia. We're so it's not as cold as we can get if we wanted to. Yeah, that's right. Mother's teats freeze. So like men are constantly having to like rub their wife's teats so that the milk doesn't freeze on the teats. That's how cold it gets up in this bitch when we want it to. That's right. No competition. In terms of coldness, iced out, baby. But let us take a trip to somewhere a little bit warmer in the Middle East somewhere, in Syria. Oh, our boys got ambushed in Syria by ISIS. Motherfucking ISIS is back, I believe. That's what I'm not sure, but that's what I hear, and that's what I read. And if they are, oh man, you trying to ambush us, son? try to ambush our troops. Rest in peace, the soldiers that fell, gave their lives. And we took them out too. I believe there was one ISIS shooter or attacker or ambusher. You think you can ambush us, ISIS? We're the kings of ambush, son. You don't want none of this. You don't want none of this. There'll be troops up your asshole, so far up your asshole, it'll actually be like closer to your lips, because that's how far we've gone up your asshole in terms of, just getting up there with our reach. So if you're watching, fucking watch yourself instead of watching this. It'd be weird if they were watching this. That's how I would get that, wouldn't I? I would get that. Probably somebody subscribing. Oh, I love this guy's show. What are we gonna talk about? That's right. We're gonna take you out if need be. You think we don't want to go to the fucking desert and boot up? And what do you think our troops are doing nonstop? Preparing. There's no better troops in the world than the United States of America. And here in the 51st state, speaking of the largest empire that ever was, you don't want some of this shit, son, because this is we'll get you with the tanks. We'll get you with the fucking troops, paragliding on your ass. You want some of the, we'll be there with drones, cigarette smoking drones. You don't want none of that shit. Speeds that are unheard of. It's right there, and then gone the next second. So if ISIS wants some, ISIS comes get some of this shit. War paint, bear crawls, barbed wire, oil being burnt in the background. I'm talking all of it, son. You don't want you want that dust to get settled. You living in that desert lifestyle. You want that. You want to raise some dust, or you want to let it settle. You just let us know, whichever you like that dust to be dealt with. We'll deal with that dust. We live for that sandy shit. There's other stuff that we live for, like maybe a higher power. Our wives and children's. Of course, I don't have any of those, but plurally speaking, our collective wives and children's, our borders, many other stuff too, and barbecue, and cold beers, good music, running through fields barefoot, skinny dipping at your cottage, day drinking, perhaps starting a little bit early. Things that we live for. So yeah, you want to raise some dust, you'll get some dust. There'll be so much dust up your ass crack that you'll be chafing for 6 months straight, and then you'll have to make an appointment to a doctor, and he's not going to know what to do with it. He's going to refer you to a dermatologist, and then you're going to have to go see him. He's not going to get it right the first time. Now you're booking a second appointment to get a second opinion, and that's fucking, you want some of that? Get ready to squirt some of that lotion on that chafed ass cheek, because there'll be so much dust up in that bitch. You might as well just move and just burn your house down and just move straight up and live in the desert. That's how much sand and dust will be up your crack, son. You don't want none of this. But if you want some, dial the number. Do we have a number? If we do, you know what it is. Dial it. Right there. 10 goons are pointing red dots at your forehead right now. Watch yourself, ISIS. But the good thing is, I believe the president of Syria was former ISIS or Al-Qaeda, so at least he may know something about something, and is that good or bad? Who knows? We'll see how it all goes. Lots of exciting events are unfolding in and around the world, of course. But let us get some, because it is the holiday season. Let us get to some personal, local grassroots level concerns that impact you and I on a daily basis that might not get much attention, but we'll focus on it here together. Thank you for joining me, sharing your experiences and things that you might be struggling with. And we all struggle with different stuff. Everybody's got their hardships, their ups and downs. And a female came in with this beautiful question and just wanted us to discuss it so that maybe others could get a little bit of assistance as well. I just want to let you know you're not alone out there. Thank you for and again, for the sake of anonymity, you'll remain nameless. Bethany, Beth, we'll just call you Beth for the sake of the story, and again, maintaining your anonymity. Sources and methods, baby, sources and methods. So right there, dude, anonymity, locked down. So Bethany has an issue, has a concern, ladies and gentlemen. Her issue or her concern is that she wants to drink up all her man's cum. That's right, she wants to drink all her man's cum. Doesn't want a single droplet to go to waste. She's just concerned and worried that she might not be able to reach her goal. And let's just break it down. Let's just unpack this together. Again, thank you, Bethany, for that wonderful question. It's touching. It's seasonal, of course. It's very festive. Feels harmonious with the times. And thank you again for that question. How do you go about drinking all your man's cum without actually, letting anything go to waste? That is because a lot of people, and again, this could actually, now let's step away from Bethany for a second. This doesn't even need to be about Bethany, but thank you for that question. It could be impacting females who want to drink all the cum, and perhaps all the men who want to drink all their female partner's vaginal juices. These are all great questions that impact all of us. Now, a lot of people do drink some of it, but the key question was, how do I drink all of it? This is the differing note in this particular scenario. So I'll say this: if you want to drink all of it, remind yourself, where's the cum coming from? Isolate, identify, isolate. The cum comes from the peen, the cock. Find the cock. The cock is where? On his person. All right, so find his person. It's on his body. That is your man. Anytime you see any sort of leakage coming out that cock, you get your mouth on top of that cock, taking the leakage, taking the cum. Do not let one single droplet go to waste. That is how you get all the cum. Now, of course, modern times require all of us to be in different locations at different times, doing different things. So I get how you're concerned and worried about not being able to get all the drops of cum in your mouth. Because what if he's outside at work, thinks of me, not me, me, thinks of you and your beautiful tits, and he's like, oh, can't wait till I get home tonight and hit that. And then he gets a little excited, a little bit of pre-cum, and there you go, you lost a little bit of the cum that you wanted to get. If you can somehow get yourself if you can somehow be with your man 24/7, so he has those, so you could just be in the background somewhere doing your thing. If your work sort of kind of collides together, so you could be somewhat in the same location, as soon as he gets hard, he gets that pre-cum, you're right there. Sucky, sucky, slurpy, slurpy, all the cum is in your mouth. So again, none of it is wasted. None of it just goes and sits in his underpants and gets crusty. So if you want all of it, again, it actually goes back to this is a question of dedication, really. This is a question because everybody can say, I want all the cum. I want all the vaginal fluids in my mouth. But are you willing to put in the work? A lot of people say they are, but are you actually willing to put in the work? If you want all of it, keep in mind, your mouth has to be placed on his cock pretty much all the time. Pretty much. So what I would recommend is for you guys to actually get surgically attached to each other in a 69 formation, right? So your mouth is completely on his cock all the time, so that there's no chance of you ever, dropping or wasting a single drop of cum. So you get as soon as it comes out, it is right there in your mouth, and you swallow it, and it's all yours. Or you'd have to work it out so that at least if he's not able to be with you all the time, when he does leak a little bit, he collects it. Get him a little jar, get him a little tiny mason jar, with a tight lid, so that every time he does leak, well, maybe he's a truck driver going across the country, maybe he's gone for 3-4 days, maybe a little bit of cum comes out, get him to scoop it up. Of course, a little bit of it is going to be wasted, but again, it's going back to your dedication and how committed you're going to be to this. So it is possible. Thank you again for that wonderful question. The best thing you can do is actually, again, get yourself surgically removed, or, clamp onto one another, latch onto one another in a 69 position. Do not leave each other's sight. And that way, as soon as cum comes out, you have it all in your mouth and nothing's wasted. And I hope this helps. I mean, if there's anybody else out there with any forms of, suggestions, please. We are a community growing little by little, doing our best to help one another out. So leave a comment if you like, if you've experienced this, if you've had this desire to drink it all up, but you've had a difficult time. Again, you're not alone. And if you have experience obtaining all the drops to come, leave a comment, enlighten us. Thank you. Thank you very much. I do want to say this. I've thought about the way our world is designed, the places that we live in, our dwellings, our households, our office spaces, places of work, places of recreation. What do they all have in common, ladies and gentlemen? I'd like to bring your attention to entrances and exits, and doors in particular. Why do we only have one door to every place? It's 2020, almost 6. It's 2026, and all this, the doors have not really evolved for a long time. I'm gonna say for millions of years, doors have it's just been one door, swing it open, and there it is. There's just nothing else to it. There's no, I'm gonna get into this space and have a different experience. You see a door, you know a door. You've experienced a door. Open, close, same old, same old. Nothing changes if nothing changes. This is what I say, implementing from now on, moving forward, 2026, I just want to put this in the global town hall suggestion box. If we could get new construction, new architectural projects that are taking place in and around the world, if we can actually implement 3 doors, a 3-door minimum is what I'm suggesting. It's 3-door minimum for every building, for every office, for every recreational space, so that people get that sense of excitement. How many times have you just opened one door and immediately gotten inside your desired location, and all of a sudden you're just, again, you're just going through time and space. You're just busy doing things, not even noticing the place you just entered. Again, stopping and smelling the roses is really important in life. So the 3-door minimum will actually allow you to open a door, get in there, take your time. Now you're facing another door. Should I even open this door? Did I even really want to get inside this building? Ask yourself. And by that time, you might actually go ahead and swing it open and boom, head forward. What's in front of you? Typically speaking, it would have been the entrance. You would have already been inside, but now a 3rd door. And that's where all the action takes place, ladies and gentlemen. The 3rd door will actually give you an exhilarating experience. The building will never feel the same. The household will never smell the same. The office building will never taste the same, just because you've had a few extra seconds of having to open a 3rd door and get inside that new building. What a wonderful experience. And all this could easily be achieved if we just come together and say, we want a 3-door minimum. A 3-door, none of this medieval shit where you just have one door swing open and next thing you know, oh, look who it is. Let's hear some noises. Let's ponder upon who could be behind the door. Let us change our minds after the 2nd door, turn around and leave. It's 2026 and we've got the tech, we've got the resources, the people want it, they're hungry for it. Nay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say they're thirsty for it, pulsating, throbbing, moist, hard, wanting change. And it could be possible. All you gotta do is voice your concern, of course, let your local authorities know, let the law enforcement know, let the politicians know, let the lawmakers know what you want, and we'll get it together. That's, again, 3-door minimum. Thank you again. And I just had to listen. It's not hard. It's not hard to listen to what the public wants. Sometimes it's right there in front of you. It's like, oh, friggin' one door. So sick and tired of shit. How many families have fallen apart because they've only had to experience opening one door? Next thing you know, you hear about these families who do really well. Well, maybe they got a chance to fly over somewhere overseas and experience the 3-door vacation. And all of a sudden, relationships tighter. Children have way more respect for their parents. Why? Because they've been exposed to 3 doors, a 3-door minimum, somewhere overseas, and now they know better. What else is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you might have heard about this one. The Ozempic lawsuit. Skirt. Yeah, skirt. Yeah, it's the 3-door minimum. You're welcome. You're welcome. Speaking for the voiceless over here. No big deal. Big issues that often just get brushed and tossed away. Put it under the rug, they'll say. Nobody wants a 3-door minimum. You're not listening. That's all right. We are many, we are few, we're in between, we're in it, we're outside of it. We're wet, we're hard, we're griefing. Ladies and gentlemen, skirt. Let's pivot, shift topics if we can, if we may. I'm very happy, of course. I'm glad that a lot of people are taking the time to take better care of themselves. We've gotten where longevity is a big part of everybody wants to live longer. Everybody is living longer for the most part. It's the greatest times with tech, with our, a lot of access to knowledge and information. You can, you don't even need to do much. You can do a lot and take care of yourselves. Of course, nobody's got it down to a T, but everybody's got their methods. One of the methods, of course, right now is Ozempic. People are losing weight. I'm happy to see people are taking that initiative, taking that time to take care of themselves. If you're, way overweight, if it's, impacting your way of life, I'm glad to see that you're losing that weight. That's cool. That is pretty cool. I did hear about a lawsuit, though. I just want to let you, in case maybe some people know, maybe some people don't know. Ozempic and other brands of these weight loss drugs, some of them are getting sued, I guess. There's been lawsuits because people are losing their eyesight. So I don't want you to lose your eyesight. And I guess maybe you don't want to lose your eyesight. So it's just how much, it's not everybody. It's for a lot of people it works. Sucks that there's no drugs without negative side effects. It sucks that it's just, because then you have to ask yourself, do I pick keeping my fat or keeping my eyesight? And if you had to choose, and that's the age-old question, fat versus eyesight, would I rather be 800 pounds with eyesight, being able to see, or would I rather be blind and thin and blind versus fat and visually abled? I would go with, I've seen thin and blinds, not too many of them, but I've seen a few thin and blinds outside. I've seen one guy in the neighborhood, I'm not even gonna lie. I think he's fake blind, dude, because I've seen him a few times. I've seen this guy, seen this fella, younger fella too. I've seen this fella. Sometimes he carries one of those blind sticks, and sometimes he just walking a no blind stick. When he does carry the blind stick, he's really into it. He uses it like a blind would. He's full blind out there. Fucking, I don't know what they do with that stick. That stick is, I don't know what they do with it. They tap it, they sniff it, they snort it, they use it to poke things. They use it to, pick up a few pieces of garbage. They use it to barbecue. I don't know what these guys do with it, but sometimes this guy uses a stick. A few days later will go by, I won't see him, and then he'll appear, no stick. Again, days that he's with the stick, he's even got his dark shades on. I don't know if maybe he's in the theaters. Maybe he's pretending to, maybe he's preparing for a role. Maybe I don't know what his deal is. I don't even know how we got there. But the point is, you have to pick. If I had to pick, so I've seen the thin and blind, partial thin and blind, Fugazi thin and blind. Maybe it's Mondays and Wednesdays he goes blind. Tuesdays and Thursdays he gets his sight back. He's some sort of fucking hybrid, half blind, half visually able. I don't know what he is. Beginning to bug me actually quite a bit, because I don't know if he's actually blind or not, but that's aside the point. If I had to pick, so I've seen the thin and blind. I've also seen the fat and visually abled. For me, I do like to move around. If you're 800 pounds, it's really hard to move around. So even if you can see, but then if you can't see, what's the point of moving around? What about lose half the weight, lose one eye? Boom, there you go. That's the solution. I think we just cracked the code. Lose half. You were planning on losing 500 pounds or 800 pounds or 900 pounds. Lose half of that, lose one eye, and be mobile and visual, and that's the best of both worlds. You really can't ask for more. You probably could, go take it to the high courts, take it to the courts that get high, take it to the courts that do whatever. I don't judge what the courts do. High courts, whatever they're getting high on, whether it's, I don't do it, I don't condone it, I don't, but if to each their own. If the court wants to get high on crack, it's that crack addict court, that's the high court. Take that high, if it's like meth, if it's doing like crocodile tears from Eastern Europe, if it's doing 2C, it's that high court. Take it where it needs to be, or take it to that low court. Take it to that low court, the court that you gotta kind of get on your belly to reach, the one that you gotta bear crawl to, the one that you gotta toss out the old slip and slide. That's how low this court is. Get it to the low court, or get it to the mid court. Get it to the mid court, not too shallow, not too deep, somewhere right in between. Get it to the mid court. The point is that, or fake it right now, fake it, lose all the weight, keep all your sight, but fake being blind. You know what I mean? Because this guy, I'm telling you right now, one of my neighbors locally, I don't know where he lives, but close enough that I see him each and every other day, fake blinding it out there, fake blind. Maybe he's lost it. He wasn't fat when I saw him. He wasn't fat, but if he could get fat low key and then lose the weight on Ozempic, he could probably get paid. Moral of the story is fake being blind, I think. How do people know? I can't tell if this guy's blind. And you don't want to question somebody who's blind, or that's rude, man. That's like asking a chunky monkey out there if she's pregnant and turns out she's just fucking big boned. And that's fucking awkward. I mean, I did it once when I was younger at a gym. It wasn't I congratulated somebody because I thought they were genuinely pregnant. It turned out that no, she was big boned. She was big boned. Came from a place of like, oh, I'm so happy for you. She wasn't. And so that didn't go well, but nonetheless, could have gone worse. She could have had AIDS. So it could always be worse. The point is, fake blinded, get some money out of Ozempic and other ones, if there are other ones. Wegovy, I don't know all the names. The one that just sticks in my mind is Ozempic. So people are doing that. Congratulations. Pick and choose, keep your eyes, but you can always get bionic eyes too, honestly. It's not even, what even are eyes, we can have bionic eyes at this point. Fuck your regular eyes. Lose the weight, sue Ozempic, get bionic eyes. You're welcome. I think we just cracked the code. There it is. What else is going on in and around the world, ladies and gentlemen? I believe there's a chick that was missing for 40 years. Michelle Newton. Actually, I don't know if her last name is Newton or not, but doesn't matter. She was kidnapped when she was 3 in 1983 by her mother, Deborah Newton. They were about to move to Georgia and getting ready, and then boom, she just got up and fled. She fled. She was gonna flee, and she fled. She turned into a flea, ladies and gentlemen, with her baby, and she fled. She turned into a flea and she fled in 1983 when her baby was 3 years old, and her husband Joe Newton didn't know anything about it, and she went missing, and she took this baby, and 40 years later they found this bitch. They found Michelle. They motherfucking found Michelle after 40 years. How you gonna find somebody after 40 years, dog? That's so much. Don't cases get closed? Do they always remain open? I believe it came in from a hot tip. That's a hot tip, dude. You know what I'm talking about, when it's just like, when you rubbed it too much and the tip is burning and it's like, can I go on any longer? Is this even safe at this point? Am I hurting myself? And that's how you get a hot tip. So it came in, no injuries, of course, no injuries. As long as you keep it well lubricated, you can withstand extremely, extremely high temperatures. Probably should, if there's a rash, you should probably stop. I'll say that. And that's, but that's just street wisdom. If you get a rash from the hot tip, because you back off a little bit. Use some cream, lotion, get some lotion, hand lotion, use it for the hot tip. But a hot tip came in, I don't know if it was like hot when it came in or prior to coming in, the tip was probably hot. and then it just like, it jizzed, the tip jizzed, and it cooled down eventually, but the tip was hot. So when it came in, tip was hot. No one got injured, of course, because sometimes it can get too hot. I've seen people get, hot tipped and go around messing around, and people, you touch the tip once with a hot tip, you burn yourself. You do it again, that's the second time now you've touched the old hot tip. And now you come back touching it some more. It's like, whoa, 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 this guy can't get enough hot tips. So yeah, a hot tip came in. Somebody narked with a hot tip. The mother got arrested. She was, but for 40 years, it was just a brief video. She's outside on her lawn with her neighbor. Her neighbor sees her getting arrested, thinks it's a joke initially, but then turns out it's extremely serious. What kind of life did she Did she lead a good life up until, and then at that point, is it even worth bringing her in, Is it even worth telling Michelle that she's, been kidnapped and she has a whole other, she has a dad out there with another family out there who's waiting for, happy that she got found, but after 40 years, are you lost? How long does the lost and found go? Because 40 years, you're a full-grown person at that point. I think that's low-key. I know she got caught. Deborah, the mother, got caught, but she should also kind of be low-key rewarded for it. It's hard to not get caught for 40. That's really, that's a big crime. Kidnapping is hard not to get caught. It's extremely, rare that goes on for 40 years. Shout out to the, police and the law enforcement, and also to that hot tip that came in, low-key a little bit of a fire hazard. Watch out with that hot tip, but also, I suppose if it works out for all of them, I'm glad that you did it. Probably didn't work out for the mother. Probably not so happy that, did we even know anything about Joe? What about Joe Newton? Why was probably, no mention of him. He's probably a decent guy. So I don't know. It's just 40 years. 40 years is too much. It's too much. Did the guy with the hot tip kind of ruin a good thing? What if all the families were happy? What if they were all happy? What if Michelle was happy? What if Deborah was happy in her new life? What if Joe had gone on and remarried and had a whole new, and now he's got a new, a 40-year-old baby, which is extremely hard to, now he's gonna have to do all the things that he didn't do with her when she was a small bit. Now she's a large baby. So this man who's older now, after 40 years, who's a young man back, but he's older now. He's gonna have to do the things that a father would do typically with their baby, but now she's just grown, so he's gonna have to put this 40-year-old woman on his old he's old, man. So he doesn't have the hips, but he's sitting down right now. He's gonna have to fucking cradle the large woman who's his daughter. Technically it's his, but it's, you've not seen each other in a long time. You're kind of strangers, but now you're gonna have to rock that baby, large Michelle, full-grown baby in your arms, and you're gonna have to feed her with a bottle. And she's like, I'm not quite sure if this is right, but you're gonna have to do it, man, because you lost time. So now you're gonna have to bottle feed that large baby. You're gonna have to follow her to the bathroom and make sure she takes a proper shit or something. I don't know, or let her crap her pants and change her pants. And she's much older now, so she'll be taking huge dumps, huge dumps, ginormous shits. In hindsight, I guess you'd probably have to change less shits in terms of numbers, because the quantity would be bigger. Because baby probably, it's got smaller shits. Adult baby, larger shits. It's still you're gonna have to put in a year or two of just wiping her ass, giant shits, teaching her how to ride a bike if she doesn't know how to ride a bike. What if she learned how to ride a bike? You're gonna have to watch her. Did she learn to ride a bike properly? All the things that you're gonna watch her get her period. She's already had it for 20, 25 years. She's probably had it, but you gotta be there. Talk her through that one. She's probably pre-menopausal right now, so it's waiting around when she's gonna get her period, which is actually low-key not too bad, because at the end of the day, back then, you'd had to wait for her to get her period initially as well. So if her cycle is off, that's actually kind of not a bad thing. But again, this whole hot tip thing, after 40 years, you're just, you're causing a lot of issues, fella or lady. After 40 years, okay? It's a little bit too long. That's a little bit too, for my taste. I'm happy for the family. I'm glad that you got discovered. not so bueno for old Deborah there, but shit happens, things do happen. So congratulations, all in all, congratulations to your newly found large baby. Rastafari, Donald Trump, Rastafari Trump, jobless. Jobless, dear Rastafari, Donald Trump. Why would you say Rastafari jobless? Because jobless, the old Rastafari Donald Trump. He blessed the old ganja from a category or scheduled 1 to a scheduled 3. Control substance, and that is why we say Rastafari Trump jobless for rescheduling the ganjas from a schedule 1 to a schedule 3, which is kind of low key, a little bit confusing, because one would ask themselves, is schedule 1 better than schedule 3? Because how would you even categorize? Why would one pick 1 and 3? It's kind of confusing, man, when it comes to scheduling the old ganja Rastafari. Everything I read in hindsight, but low-key a little confusing if you had just your man here. Schedule 1, is it like, would it be this is low-key not a big deal in terms of scheduling because it's only one level of scheduling, but is it worse as the scheduling goes up in numbers? Would you have a far worse scheduling if you were now scheduled in schedule number 3 now, Rastafari ganja jobless? Schedule 3 is technically better now because now it's not as bad as schedule 1, but then you'd think that they say schedule 3 would be worse because it incrementally went up and got worse, but schedule 1 is apparently the bad one. Your bad schedule, your bad bumper clot. Rastafari ganja jobless. Maybe it's time we reconsider the whole scheduling thing together. Maybe just get rid of the old schedule. Who even likes to make an agenda and have schedule? Maybe just have what about schedule 2? Rastafari ganja jobless, Donald Trump. Blessed the old ganja Rastafari Donald Trump. Because he did it. Congratulations. It's now been reclassified. That's a good positive move. That's a good positive move. Man, right there with the reclassifying, rescheduling the old ganja Rastafari jobless. Still, I think federally, it's still not in the US, I think. And I'm not gonna take this time to say that not everything's for everyone. Everybody should by now know that not everything's for everyone. Or maybe some people it's the first time that they happen to hear it on one of the largest, most girthy podcasts on planet Earth. Not everything's for everyone. Yeah, but that's gay. Why don't we just fucking all suck 10 huge cocks at the same time? Yeah, not everything's for everyone. Why don't you just come out and say you're gay then, if you're gonna say stuff like this then? It's the same thought as I had about when you, again, things sometimes intermingle and are somewhat connected. If you saw last episode, we briefly spoke about, not identifying. I said I don't feel comfortable, labeling myself as religious. I would say I don't, and for lack of a better term, I might say if somebody were to be like, are you, and then you're like, I'm not religious because I think that's a little bit comes with its connotations, and I don't, and then you're like, what are you then? And you're like, spiritual. And as soon as you're like, and again, because of lack of word, and it's like, why don't you just suck 10 dicks? Why don't you just get a bukkake? Why don't you just get 10 guys to jizz on your face already? Spiritual gay faggot. Why don't you just do a whole orgy of gay dudes? Spiritual. And I'm like, I don't have a better word. It's just I feel like religion is a little bit too strong. Why don't you just say you like taking up the ass, faggot? It's the same thing, same thing. I don't even know what we were talking about just moments ago. But God bless the old Rastafari Donald Trump for rescheduling from a Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. All right, I was saying I don't, condone any use of anything, but I don't judge it either. I don't judge it either. To each their own. You're gonna have some fun out there, mess around with different things, see what works for you, what doesn't. And yeah, the messaging, right, saying people should know. You could drown on water and kill yourself. So what were we talking about? I don't know, it's got all over the place. The point is that it's rescheduled now. I do want to see Donald Trump smoking J's now. That'd be Rastafari. I do want to see Donald Trump smoking J's, hitting bongs. This is really good weed. I'm telling you, you gotta try these muffins, man. I just want to let you know I love you. No one's loved you as much as I loved you. I've always been there for you. One of the biggest supporters of this show. I just want to let you know that this weed, I don't know what it's called, man, but particularly I don't even care about the names, but this is some good shit. You gotta try to hit this. Just try it once. Anybody else hungry? Anybody else hungry? God bless. God bless Donald Trump. He's also, I believe he's suing BBC, and you should go and sue the old BBC, the old British Broadcasting Corporation, is it? Company? BBC. Big black cock. Big British cock. He's suing them. He's suing them for like $10 billion. You'd better go after them, for they be putting words in your mouth. Them not the Rastafari ganja loving jobless. The corporations with the misinformation and coming in there and doctoring videos. Not cool, man. Doctoring videos. Went a little bit Irish there for a second. You're supposed to be... it's too much. It's too much. Or not enough. Why'd you be going there putting words in Donald Trump's mouth over there? You'd take that $10 billion hit and maybe you'll learn a lesson to not be spreading misinformation, calling yourself the so-called newsman, you ganja hating son of a bitch. You bamba clad, your blood clad, pussy clad BBC. Is what I would say if I were, if I were full Rasta, but as you know, I'm mixed, half Rasta, half Japanese. Konnichiwa. News is supposed to be unbiased and only focusing on the old facts there. You're coming in there with your opinions and snippets and painting a whole other picture. Trying to destroy a man's image. You take the $10 billion hit now. Maybe you'll learn a lesson. Rastafari ganja jobless. Bomba clot. What else is going on? Adult babies, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently I've seen videos. I don't know if this is true or not. Is this the new thing? Is this replacing the furries? Because I thought initially when furries came out, I think they came out when I was, man, it's been some time now. Fucking time flies, and like I was young. I'm getting older now. Not cool. Not cool nature / God. We're just taking out the ass already, spiritual gay faggot. Who's a spiritual? You fairy. I just feel like religion's just too harsh of a word for me personally. We're just taking up the ass already then. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, what was I even talking about? Some people are dressing up as babies apparently. I've seen this, and I thought furries was going to be a joke too when it just started, and this is some time ago. But then furries became a thing. It actually became a thing. Now I see adults, I've seen a few videos over the past few years, adults dressing as babies. Not bless. Or jobless. Jobless everyone. Everyone jobless with the oncoming movement that is the AI. Everything I re. What What was I talking about? Right, adult babies. Is this a new thing? Is this going to be a thing now? Am I going to see adult babies dressed? Now I'm talking dressed in diapers, sucking on pacifiers, full blown diapers. Adult, there's that, and I've seen fake people. I've seen real people taking care of fake babies to doll mothers, baby doll mothers. I've seen both. I don't know if these are things start out. You don't know if it's real or not until it becomes a thing, until you see a whole bunch of them in a parking lot, attending a convention. You're like, what the fuck is this? And it's like, oh, it's the adult baby convention. And it's a whole community. And initially some people make fun of them, and then initially it becomes normal. And then you'll see that at the convention center. Just like 40,000 adults dressed in diapers, sucking on pacifiers, somebody putting them over their shoulder, trying to, get rid of the air in their belly. I suppose to each their own. It's, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna, if it's like one of those situations where it says like, oh, it's a dangerous situation, you're gonna have to, ladies and children first. If you think you can roll up in there as dressed as a baby, and you're 500 pounds dressed as a baby, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get on this, I'm gonna depart from this ship first, along with I'm kicking you right in the face. That's just how I feel. Same as if you, in that situation, normally I treat you, really well. But if the ship is going down, it's like, oh, babies and women's first and the elderly after, kicking you in your face, kicking you. And again, and same thing, if you are outside when everything's normal, if you're borderline, I don't want to say adult babies, when the ship is going down, adult babies, you're getting kicked in the face. Low key, if I see anybody on their initial steps of transitioning as well, again, if you're like 500 pounds and just put on a lipstick and calling yourself a chick, you're also gonna get kicked in the nuts. In that situation, other times I really don't care. You could be walking down the street and just be like, I'm on my journey of becoming a female. Sure you are. And I respect it, I suppose. To a certain extent. But the point is, same thing. It's just, again, not, diff. It's just a little bit different. I said it from the beginning. If you're gonna go for it, really go for it. Really go for it. I shouldn't be able to tell. And the adult babies are gonna be taking, just taking giant shits, and I guess having fake mothers change their diapers, which is, would you then be able to get breastfed in public? Would you be able to get breastfed in public? Because I don't think because babies can get breastfed in public. Is this a loophole for men and women, for adult men and women to be able to breast? That aspect of it, I could see how it could, low key, that one, you know what? I think and this is how, God bless everyone, I suppose there's a benefit in everything. You could technically suck on titties in the public as an adult dressed as a baby. If you are to be then wait. I don't know, man. That sounds like that's a gray area. We're gonna leave that open to the audience. If you feel like it's all right, leave a comment. If you feel like you want to partake, go partake, and then leave a comment. If you don't want to partake and you see this as the downfall of society, Western civilization, the downfall of Rome, if you see this as if you see it, then leave a comment as well. All in all, that's how I feel about it, man. I don't know. To each their own. God bless. What else is going on? I saw a structure, a rock formation beneath the Bermuda Triangle. They found a rock formation. Scientists, people doing research, they found a rock formation beneath the Bermuda Triangle some time ago. I did read, some people just want to dismiss it and say there's nothing in the Bermuda Triangle, man, quit looking. The missing planes and the ships are just, it could easily be explained by science. Some people said that, and then they said it's high tides and low tides, mixing it together and getting some mid tides, which are just, scrump for taking down ships and planes. And that to me is just like low key. There's high tides and low tides everywhere. What's actually underneath the Bermuda Triangle? It turns out there's a rock formation a geometric rock formation beneath the Bermuda Triangle. I haven't seen it. I don't know how they took I didn't see. I just read the article. I don't know if there's any photos or images or videos of the rock formation beneath the Bermuda Triangle, but they said they saw it. I don't know if it's realsies, but I think it is. What if it's just the rock underneath it? What if it's Dwayne Johnson? What if that's what they meant? There's a giant rock formation beneath. What if it's been the rock the entire time beneath the Bermuda Triangle, posing in geometric shapes, making 90-degree angles, right angles? The rock formation. What if it's the rock taking all our ships and all our airplanes? What if that's what he does on his spare time? Is that what's going on? Because they said a rock formation. This could all be, I think we may be onto something, folks. I think we may be onto something. So look deeper, go further, do a little bit more research. I'd like to see that. If we could get, move the water a little bit, you know what I mean? Move the water to the side for a second. Could we not just block the water with, put up a couple of walls, kind of make a dam, surround the entire area, drain it, flush out all the water in the Bermuda Triangle, see what's underneath it, and low key, why is it a triangle? Is Big Pizza behind the pole? But is Big Pizza teaming up with The Rock, taking down ships and airplanes in the Bermuda Triangle? I think we may be onto something. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'd like to find out more. Is this some sort of giant magnet that's just pulling, is it a giant magnet with lasers? And maybe low-key just what else is in the waters? Who knows? A lot of fascinating things to be discovered and to find together. I'm curious, like many people out there, what's in the depths of the ocean, as well as in the outer spaces, as well as what's walking amongst us. Curious times, best times to be alive. Best times to be alive. Unless unless you savagely got murdered by your son. It's not good for Michelle and Rob Reiner. It's just, saw a lot of videos during the past few days, just a lot. Not actual video, just a lot of headlines with that. Terrible. Apparently they were going to meet with Michelle and Barack Obama. And we saw how that turned out when a chef met with Michelle and Barack Obama, ended up dead in a body of water, which was extremely difficult to drown in. But he was a poor swimmer, apparently, allegedly. And another correlation there, maybe perhaps Wagwan, jobless. What if Barry and Big Mike wanted to meet with Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner and do what if Barry was pitching a wife swap? Think about it, they do this type of shit. What if he's like, yo, let's wife swap? Rob Reiner's like, I don't know, man. He's like, let's wife swap? And he's like, I don't know, man. And then one more time, yeah, let's wife swap. And Rob Reiner wasn't down, and boom. Fucking who knows? But what you do need to know and what you need to do is to fucking take care of yourselves out there. Stay hydrated. You know who stayed hydrated? Nick Reiner. Apparently, all these things are unraveling real quick. Sometimes you're like, oh, there's more in this. Nick Reiner stayed hydrated, ladies and gentlemen, after he murdered his parents. And you need to remember that after murdering his parents, allegedly, he went out to a gas station or a convenience store or a bodega or somewhere. And he was getting himself some drinks. And you got to quench your thirst. Doesn't matter what you do. Whether it's exercise or murder, you don't want to get thirsty. Oh, nothing feels as bad as being dehydrated. Always focus on hydration. No matter what you do. What else is going on? What did we just What am I even talking about? Right. Bermuda Triangle and all that jazz. Yeah, who knows what's out there. It's interesting times. I'd love to find out more. I hope people with research capabilities, with the monies, with the resources get in there, whether it's the depths of the ocean, whether it's the pyramids in Giza, whether it's the Amazon, whether anywhere else in the world, outer space, beneath our feet, between our legs, in your bum, wherever it is, look for it. What else is going on? I believe this one is not a good time. Also not a good time for an MIT professor. Nuno, was that his name? Nuno Loureiro. 47-year-old MIT professor was just assassinated at his apartment building, place of residence. God. It's terrible. And you don't think of it, but you don't think of somebody who's into like physics and like fusion as being a bad boy, but I suppose he was. You don't know what kind of, because one time he'd be doing fusion and physics, the rest of the time he might be doing gang activity. I don't know what he was doing, but God, it's difficult being I suppose it's like if he was like, MIT, big deal, fusion, physics, also big deal. Nuclear scientist, big deal. It's rough times for these guys. Probably rougher. It's MIT and, it's in the US. It's not as bad as other places if you're, because, if you're researching certain things, why would, it'd be extremely difficult to probably like be a nuclear scientist in like, in North Korea. It's far more, or in the Middle East, probably far worse rated. So, all in all, but still a very dangerous, I suppose, field, which is crazy because you need these people to go out there and do you need these beautiful, beautiful eggheads. You need them with the big brains and the physics and the fucking fusion and the fission and discovering things, and you need them, but also it sucks for them because they're smart and could be great for humanity, but also they get taken out, which is also not good. I don't even know why I brought this up, to be honest with you. It's kind of like I guess, and one could say that they are physicists, people in physics and I guess nuclear programs. You could say that they're like the most gangster amongst the sciences, probably, because there's, because you don't, if you're like researching, and shout out to anybody else researching anything else, like, if you're like a butterfly scientist, focused on butterflies, it's still cool, I suppose, and I'm pretty sure it has positive impacts for humanity, but not as gangster as physics and fusion. How do you even encourage people to go into fusion and physics and nuclear science? You got to keep it on the down low. I'll tell you that. If you're having kids and they show interest and are good at physics and fusion and nuclear reason, keep it on the DL. Don't tell people. Send them to school. Let them get a job on the down low. Don't tell anyone. Keep it on the down low. Did he have any that sucks, dude, getting assassinated and you're just a scientist. That sucks. Rest in peace, dude. That sucks. Who's behind it, by the way? That's what I want to know. Who's behind the assassination? Makes me want to get my detective hat out. It's been some time since I got my detective hat out. My detective raincoat. My detective umbrella. Get a hot tip from somewhere. Watch yourselves. What else is going on in and around the world, ladies and gents? I believe Canada, this one's beautiful. This one's heartwarming. It's sweet. It's seasonal. It's like the holidays are like talking through animals with us. Canadian researchers researching polar bears, and they were tracking this one particular polar bear, and the bear they could have just given the bear a name, but they decided to go with like letters and numbers, and I forget the letters and numbers, which is why, again, I wish they just called the bear like, Danny, or, Paul or something. But no, they went with like XC3311. They tagged them, and that's, I can't remember the, pick a damn name. Pick a damn name next time instead of putting a number on it. Have a number and a name. Have a number and a name. But they tracked this female polar bear, and they noticed that she had a cub with her cub, and then she adopted another cub who was motherless. Cue sad violin music in the background. Audience breaks out into tears because the motherless cub was probably not gonna make it out there by himself. More sad violin music. Audience getting more teary-eyed, pulling on heartstrings, bringing people closer together through animals and kindness. Stop the sad violin music. Wipe your tears. Let the good times roll. The motherless cub was adopted by a polar bear, which is super nice. And yeah, you see this sometimes. You see this in nature. Touches your heart because it's like, man, we think we're the only ones who can adopt, but apparently it's all animals adopting other animals who are motherless or fatherless, which is beautiful, beautiful. Overall, the stats are not in favor of the motherless cub. Not a lot of them survive. This doesn't even happen too often, apparently. But it does warm my heart to see that it does happen. There's a higher chance of that baby bear going, on with his life and growing up to be a healthy polar bear, a full-grown adult polar bear. Maybe he'll, who knows, maybe it's difficult. Adoption is not easy, especially for a bear. Humans have a difficult time. Must be extremely difficult for a bear to adopt. How many bear adoption agencies are there? How many forms do they have to fill out? Could they even fill out a form? They got bear paws. That's difficult. How do you, do they grab a pen? Is it voice command? How do you secure a job as a bear anyway to show that you've got enough income? But this bear apparently did it, despite all the difficulties, the hurdles. And yeah. How do they know that it's, I guess they were tracking her, but it's difficult to know unless you're tracking her like all day, every day, because a baby cub could be with her and then that's her cub. And then you see another, what if she's just hiding one of the other cubs? What if it's just, what if she's like a celebrity bear and we don't even know that in the bear world? What if she's like the MJ of bears and she's low-key hiding her second born, or maybe that baby cub had a twin and she's like, I'll hide one of these twin babies and wham, just like fucking surprise people the next day and be like, look at me, I'm the MJ of bears. She would have said that. Check out my second baby. Check this out, surprise baby, But who knows what'll happen to this baby cub, cub bear, baby cub of a bear. Maybe he'll grow up to get a job with Coca-Cola and do ads, and he'll grow to, accumulate a lot of wealth and own a little bit of land and, somewhere cold. And maybe he'll shoot, music videos, and maybe he'll help other bears who've been motherless. And hopefully he'll learn hopefully from the whole Diddy documentaries that if you can still go a long way and you don't have to be a dick. Maybe he'll learn that by seeing, because you saw the whole doc. I've seen the Diddy doc, and you're like, man, this guy achieved a lot, and all he had to do was just not be like that extra little bit of not being a dick. Like if he didn't beat Cassie, most of it would have if he didn't beat women essentially, and like low-key kind of be like murderous, if he just didn't have that, and I don't know the full deets of it. I'm just saying you can still achieve a lot. You don't have to, so maybe hopefully this baby bear is gonna get to sit down and watch the Diddy doc and learn that you can still achieve a lot and not beat women and kill people. I'm not saying he did any of those things, but again, if he didn't just, he could have still done a lot, but he had to just, smack around Cassie. And that's aside the point. I'm wishing this bear a long life filled with longevity, health, wealth, prosperity, and lots of milk and honey. All of it. But it's lucky for that mother bear to, have that baby bear be another polar bear, because what if it was like a brown bear or a black bear, baby bear, And then she was like, well, bear's a bear, I'll just adopt this motherless black bear. And then that's fine, she could love them both and not even see the difference. It's just like her own. But then she'll go back to her home, and then now she's like, hey sweetheart, she says to the husband bear, and he's all like hard and ready. He's like, yeah baby, welcome back. And there's our little one, points to the other polar bear who's their baby. And then she's like, I got a surprise for you. And then we got another baby, because this poor baby black bear was motherless and I adopted him. And then shows it to the polar bear who's the dad. And then immediately he's like, oh, this is so nice. But then what if that black baby bear, what if he had a huge cock? And then that father polar bear kind of like low-key felt threatened by the size of that baby bear's cock. And that's not good for the dynamics of the whole relation. I mean, like, he'll still accept the baby, but because they don't wear pants, man, that's a little bit, that's not anything he can control. That's just, that's just a black baby bear with a big cock, and there you have it. And that'd be awkward. And soon enough, that baby cub's gonna grow up and hit puberty and get giant, and his cock's gonna grow even bigger. And at the same time, husband polar bear is getting older and probably getting a little bit of a hunchback. And now this black bear is fucking 20-30 years old, and that mother polar bear is basically like a MILF at this point. So like, things could happen. Next thing you know, somebody's doing laundry, bending over, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, stepson, want to put your cock in my puss? That could happen. Who knows? But it didn't. It just happened to be that it was a polar bear cub. Ladies and gentlemen, what else is going on in and around the world? I believe it's data centers, AI data center. I read an article about this. AI data centers are taking up they're using a lot of water and electricity, a lot. I forget the numbers, to be honest with you, like somewhere around like 800 billion liters of water, as much electricity and as much CO2 as equivalent amount of CO2. What was it? Was the same amount of CO2s as New York City. That's, again, a lot of big numbers. I can't even put that in my head and like conceptualize that. A lot of electricity and water. Apparently these data centers are just fucking thirsty tech. Apparently it just takes a lot of water and electricity to feed these AI data centers, which we need, which just kind of like causes an issue, because we're gonna need more of them to get like access to eventually like super intelligence and more quantum computing and more. We just need more of them, and they're gonna be causing a lot of CO2s, and that's not good, because the whole time we're like, oh, you gotta be careful of CO2s, but then we need tech, and that's coming in fast and quick. But the tech is gonna require all our water and electricity. To remedy this issue, I will once again come up with a solution, because that's what I like to do. Problem, solution. Electricity. Fucking, oh man, they're gonna come at you and oh man, charge of electricity is probably, that's probably gonna have to we're gonna eventually have to come up with tech that requires less electricity and water. In the meantime, are they gonna charge people more for electricity as electricity consumption goes high and the grid gets fucking just hanging on by a thin thread, just people using it, and then the AI's using it, and data centers are just fucking, you'll see a data center just, at a park bench, one leg on the ground, the other lifted, planted on a park bench, drinking tons of water, just fucking, shirtless data center, just, does body weight exercises. You see them just fucking smoking and drinking water and like, getting, it's got like a whole bunch of wires in his hand. He's just like, right there in his mouth, and he's just taking in all the electricity. And there you are. You're like, I'm so thirsty, and I wish I had access to some electricity. In the meantime, this AI data center is right there, just showing off in front of you, looking at you, and just like slurping all that water. Just fucking, he's pouring all over. He's being not so careful with the water usage. Just, pouring all over his head and just, between his tits too, because it's a data center. It's a he-she data center. And you're confused. There's water going between his tits, and he's like, look at these tits. I'm a big data center. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And you're like, do I motorboat this data center? What's going on? And in the meantime, it's just like, again, just wires, just loose electricity, just fucking, flushing out electricity, and just water spewing. He's grabbing bottles of water, just spewing water. He's just, he's running around. You see him in the middle of the day. It's summertime, and all the kids want to run out and play by the fire hydrant, which doesn't happen anymore. You know why? Because there's a data center just, wearing a thong and a small top, and just, popping open that fire hydrant and just wiggle, 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 wiggle these tits, and you're like, man, there's no water for these kids. Why? Because there's a loose hepatitis positive AI data center taking up all the water. So that's, drink less water, man. Drink less water. We need more data centers. I don't know what to tell you. Drink less water. It's been a myth. They tell you to drink a lot of water, but low key, no one's telling you to drink less. It's a new movement, 2026. Drink less water. Be a hero. Get dehydrated. Okay? They say coffee's not water. I don't believe it. Because I've seen it. I've seen how I make it myself. I put the water in the coffee. Drink coffee. Stay hydrated. Ladies and gents. Do I put water in my, my dad's at the hospice, do I visit him and pour water in his throat, or feed the AI data center? Your dad's he's good for nothing. He's old and wrinkly. He's like a prune, and he's using up resources. Feed the AI data centers, all right? Hard decisions. We're gonna have to, pick and choose, because you'll see things. We've gone into the age of self-policing and policing one another, and it's gonna get more and more. It's gonna get more and more. So we're gonna have to decide, or at least compromise. Make, because I see a lot of narking out there. I see a lot of people not, it's. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. I'm like, because I see, videos of people popping up now. You'll see Amazon drivers, DoorDash drivers, Uber Eats drivers, messing around with people's foods and shit. Taking people's foods, spraying things on people's foods. Pulling out pubes and like sprinkling on top of people's foods. And then people are catching this on camera, putting it online. It's people getting caught, immediately replaced by AI and data centers and robots. And it's like, you're covered in jizz if you do, and you're covered in jizz if you don't. That's so. Hopefully we can get past. These are growing pains, I suppose. These stages. I hope people stop narking on one another, and I also hope that people just do your job without fucking tampering with. People are stealing. Apparently, Amazon drivers multiple times. They've stolen people's cats and shit. So you keep doing this shit again. They're gonna just come in there and replace you with an AI and a thirsty data center. You're just going to be replaced easily. And every job is now going to be, moving forward more and more. Recorded all the time, just more digits, and you're just going to be cameras up your ass all day, every day. So again, I don't know what we're going to have to do. I don't even know how we got there. The point is, it's good times, but it's also, simultaneously, I do see that, there's, I guess this is somewhat correlated to the next thing that I wanted to talk about, which is subway in New York, and there's rats. There's a video of a bunch of rats fighting over a bagel, wrestling over a bagel rather. Which reminds me, you know, kind of low key is like, you know, the rat is symbolic of us. The food is, once again, us low key fighting over the food. We must come together, share the food, not equally, of course. The more we work, the more food you should get. There's that aspect of it. There's the aspect of our innate love of wrestling, and that's, I guess that's visible in all animals. That's the first sport, isn't it? Wrestling is our first sport. It doesn't require any equipment or anything. It's just you tangling up with another fellow or lady. And you see this, rats on the subway tracks, fighting over a bagel. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I hope you should be able to bet on it. I do want to see that once everything gets incorporated into the hive mind, so that everything is recorded, monetized, digitized. You know, you see a rat, you see a couple of rats just like fucking about to go face to face. Ratto a ratto. Bet on it. Be like, you know, the one with the scar over his eye or the one with the missing tail. You know, which one's gonna take it? Bet on it on the subway. Should be able to bet on it. But they're fighting over food and resources. We're all competing for food and resources. It's the holiday season in the spirit of all of us coming together. Compete with a good, positive attitude. I don't know what to say. Compete knowing that there are others out there competing. Yeah, this one, I don't know what to say about this one. It's beautiful rats fighting over a bagel and people looking to feed themselves. Times are challenging. Times are also the best. So all in all, get out there with a positive attitude and give it the old college try. There it is. There it is. It's all about perspective. If I've learned anything thus far, one of the things that I've learned, not many things, but, you know, trying to learn and grow one step at a time, I would say it is a lot about perspective, you know, and the great thing about perspective is that you could always change it. Take Belarus, for example, right now, sending cigarette balloons over to Lithuania, and Lithuania is calling it an emergency because the airspace is getting bombarded by Belarusian balloons with cigarette packages. Perspective, you know, you could look at the cigarette balloons and be like, oh no, you're coming in our airspace. This is not good. What is this? Is it smuggling? Is it hybrid warfare? Or you could just look at it for what it is, man. If I got some balloons delivering ciggies to me, I'd be overjoyed. And as a matter of fact, I would love to receive some balloons with cigarettes or anything else for that matter. I mean, balloon gift delivery services have been pushed to the side, neglected, because we say we've got better tech and, you know, we could do it better. But balloons are romantic and cigarettes are also romantic and thoughtful. So Belarus is doing that. Lithuania is not happy. I'm a fan of cigarettes, and again, I don't condone anything. Why don't you just take 10 dicks up the ass? Mister, he doesn't condone anything, or he doesn't support anything. Why don't you just take it up the ass? Yeah, it's a nice gift. Look at it as a gift. Send some back. Send Lithuanian cigarettes to Belarus. How about that? You know, did you ever take the cigarettes? Send lighters over, you know, be like a little bit of just put more helium in the balloons, strap a couple of Lithuanians to the balloons, have them smoking the ciggies, send them back to Belarus, show them that you're using the cigarettes that they sent you. Boom, there it is. Problem, solution. Right there, dude. Swoosh. Dunk. Touchdown. Should be able to wrestle the rats. I've not seen, because people just stand there and fucking videotape everything with it. Get involved. You see a rat fighting over a bagel, get in there, bite the bagel. Could be a good bagel. It could be a pricey bagel. You never know when the bagel came from. It could have been a Starbucks bagel, and those are expensive. So you get there and fight over the bagel. Still trying to figure out a way to deal with the guys and the gals stealing the cats that are doing the delivery drives. Give your cat herpes so that your cat, once being catnapped, gives the delivery driver who catnapped your cat, they get herpes so that they learn not to steal and kidnap cats. Or give the cat AIDS. That's a lesson they'll never forget, ever. I mean, they could keep it under wraps with proper medication, but they'll know. Or continue narking and see them replaced by AI. Do that then. And the next thing you know, you're like, I don't have enough water, electricity. So, you gotta just all work together. And the way we're gonna do this is by coming in and doing our part. Skirt, ladies and gentlemen. Canada, here in my homeland, my home and native land, that is. We are seeing a little bit of a population decline. I've read this. I don't know, to be honest with you, but they said that we're gonna be seeing a little bit of a population decline because we're saying nay to students who are coming over to study here. We're tightening it up a little bit. We took in a lot. We're saying, you know what, maybe pump the brakes a little bit. We're doing that. Population's apparently going down a little bit, which means if Canada is about to face a population decline, this is where, once again, I see problem. I come in and say solution. Did I hear population decline? Not on my goddamn watch, sir. Not on my goddamn watch, madam. You think you're gonna just put our population on a decline just because we're not getting any students coming over from overseas? This is what we're gonna do. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this and you're in Canada today, I want you to, no more money spent on condoms, no more money spent on reproductive care in terms of spend money on that, but don't get any condoms, don't get any birth control pills. Do not, pull out. I don't want to see anybody pulling out. That's what I don't want to see anybody pulling out. And I'm going to be out there watching you. I'm watching you right now. I'm going to be watching after this video is uploaded. So I'm going to be showing up to each and every one of your houses in Canada, making sure that every last drop is going in and going inside her ovaries and just fucking latching onto that egg, and multiple sperm. These sperms are gonna. I want to see sperm training for Canadian sperm to see the strength of our sperm get stronger. Maybe we should be, working them out a little bit. Gyms and rec centers, working on our sperm to get them strong and fertile. And the eggs too. The eggs, I want to see the Canadian eggs exercising. Open your legs wide, ladies and gentlemen. What about me? I'm busy baking. I'm busy. Not right now, but for everybody else. So I got a career that I'm working on, and so babies for your mans, maybe later it's down. Maybe not. It's not even on my list. But for you, because we don't want the population to go down. Because at the end of the day, if it goes down, we die off. We don't get any students coming in. The AI data centers are going to be taking over, and all is left is going to be just, again, thirsty tech, drinking our water, using our electricity, and Canadians just, dying, and that's not good. So for a little while, we're going to shut it down. If you're like, she likes anal, and I like anal too. Switch it up, pal. I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna have to come back to anal, but for some time, park anal, put it in her vag, bust the nut, empty out that baby batter where it's meant to go, and have lots of babies. How will you provide for them? I'll leave that question to the audience. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Rastafari, ganja, jobless, everybody.